All right, hey guys. So Wrath has been out now for about a month, and we're reaching the end of the third week of Arena. And I just wanted to make a little video here to talk about gearing and how to get that gear, kind of what to prioritize. I know me and my Arena partners have been talking about what we're going to get, and I think it's just a little bit of a nuanced topic that I don't see many people discussing. If you're looking for a BIS list, I can link something in the bottom, but honestly, BIS lists for PvP are pretty straightforward in Wrath. There's a couple items that you can swap out, but usually you want to just wear the best PvP gear that's available to you, except for like weapon and ring and stuff. So the first thing that I want to cover here are the types of gear. Then I'll kind of go into the ways in which you can get that gear, and then in the third part, I'll go over what I think is the best way to get that gear depending on your situation. So first, there's like two categories of gear in my mind. The first one is the offset pieces, which are the bracers, the belt, the boots, the back, the neck, and the ring. And then the other category I'd call the main set pieces. So the hands, the chest, the shoulders, pants, and helm, right? Now, within those two categories, there are a couple sections. For the offset, there is a 10-man equivalent in Hateful, and then the 25-man equivalent, basically, for Deadly. And then in the main set, there's like a heroic dungeon level equivalent, and then there's a 10-man equivalent, and then there's the 25-man equivalent. When it comes to how you can buy these pieces, there are a couple different ways as well. For the offset, it's only honor, so that's pretty straightforward. For the Savage set, the heroic dungeon level equivalent, you can use honor or emblems of heroism. I didn't put the prices for emblem of heroism. I think they match the same as the Valor over here for Hateful, but I would never recommend wasting your emblems of heroism on these, as I'll go over in the next section, but I think honor is pretty free. When it comes to Hateful, you can buy it through a mixture of honor and arena points, or you can spend your raiding, so your raid emblems, on Hateful as well. And then when it comes to Deadly, the 25-man equivalent, you can buy it through purely arena points, or these three that are highlighted in green, they have a chance to drop in heroic, not heroic, but the 25-man version of Vault of Arcaban. So now that we've covered the types of gear, let's go over the currencies that you use and the best ways to earn them. The first one is honor, which I'm sure anyone who PvPs is familiar with, but there are some more efficient ways to earning honor than simply grinding out your favorite battleground. The first of this is going to be the random battleground queue. So every day, your first win in a random battleground queue will give you 3,723 honor, and it'll give you 25 arena points. After that first win, you'll get about, I think it's 1,600 honor, and there'll be no more arena points. This also shares with the weekend battleground. So on the weekend, from Friday to Monday, there will be one battleground designated that you could also queue up distinctly for, and then you would get these same bonuses. But as soon as you win either that battleground or the random one, both of the bonuses will go to 1,600 and no arena points. The other daily battleground thing is a quest, and it is important that you go out there and you get this quest every day, because it is actually worth 5,000, almost 5,600 honor and another 25 arena points. From my personal experience, the best way to go about this is to grab the quest. If it matches up with the weekend, right, if this quest was Eye of the Storm, then I would just queue up for the weekend bonus. If it does not, then I would queue up for the random battleground, and I would hope that I get queued into Warsong Gulch. That way you can kind of kill two birds with one stone. If you don't get Warsong Gulch and you win, then you can just queue up directly for Warsong Gulch. But if you queue up for the random battleground and you lose, you want to keep queuing until you like get Warsong Gulch and win, or you win the random battleground, and then you can queue up for the daily quest. But these two daily BG rewards are extremely important, not just for the honor, but the extra 25 arena points, both of them adding up to an extra 50 arena points per day, is actually a big bonus to your arena point earning. And I'll go over that a little bit more as we discuss arena points there. So now that we've discussed honor, the other currency here that's really important, right, is arena points. Real quick, just to go over this, I will say these emblems of valor are earned in 10-man and 25-man raids. So that's how you earn them, and I'll discuss when you may want to use them on arena gear in the next section, but just so you're clear on how you get emblems of valor. You can also get it through the daily heroic quests. You can get 2 per day. When it comes to arena points, I'm going to just assume that everyone understands that you get arena points every week on Tuesday based on your team's rating. Now, what's interesting is, so someone has been linking this point calculator on some PvP discords that I've been reading, and so far it seems to be accurate on what I'm getting per week. I'm not going to vouch that it's 100% accurate, but this is what I'm going off of. What's extremely interesting is you go and you look at, let's say you're a 1500 2v2 team, okay? You're getting 1,060 points per week. Now, let's say you're basically the best in the world. You're 2,500. You're getting 1,214 points. So you're getting about 150 more points per week than a regular 1,500 team. So when it comes to actually the amount of points you get per week, your rating is not that important. What is important here, and what is actually going to be the bigger difference maker, is these quests that I talked about early, the random battleground and then the battleground daily, because that gives you 25 for the daily and then another 25 for the random, which is 50 per day. So now we're talking about 50 per day, 7 days a week. You can get 350 extra points. So the way that you can get more arena points is not really, the best way to get more arena points is not to sit in arena and farm out the rating. The rating is just there for you to buy the gear, right? If you're trying to reach the rating requirement, then farm the rating. But as far as you getting more arena points per week and having more to spend, those battleground quests are going to be the difference maker, right? And so that will kind of bring me back around to this next section where I'm going to talk about how I would prioritize spending the resources that you get here, like which order I would buy the gear. So now with all that in mind, let's kind of put it together and talk about how I would gear a new level 80 for PvP in Phase 1 Wrath of the Lich King. Your first priority is to do those daily battlegrounds. Get that extra 50 arena points per day. As I pointed out earlier, this is one of the biggest difference makers for how to earn arena points. Also be doing winter grass, especially when you can do the weeklies. That's when it's the priority first and foremost. After the weeklies, it's okay honor, but it's kind of just on par with a normal BG. If you are doing the daily BG and the weeklies, you will have so much surplus honor. With that in mind, I wouldn't waste honor on buying any sort of hateful gear that is not rating locked, right? So, and also in that regard, the first things I would spend my honor on are the deadly offset pieces. They're best in slot. They'll be best in slot for the entire phase. And so it's a great investment to make with your honor that you get. The next things that I would go for is the entire blue set. Straight off the bat, you should have a lot of honor. I wouldn't spend any emblems of heroism if you're doing dungeons or whatever. I think you will continue to get honor if you keep doing those daily battlegrounds, and you will be wanting to do those daily battlegrounds even after you've honor capped and spent all the honor you can. I know right now I'm buying kind of off-spec pieces and other things because I need to do those dailies for the arena points, but I've already spent honor on everything I can. So in that regard, I would never be conservative with how you spend honor. Don't worry about honor. It will come as long as you're doing those daily battlegrounds. As you're getting these blue pieces, if you're doing enough Wintergrass, I would recommend getting the boots. Well, let's say this is your first lockout that the guy's getting. You don't even have an arena team yet, and even if you were going to make an arena team this week, and even if you're good enough to reach 1,300 or 1,400, you might just not have the time, right? I know my first week we only played like 10 games, and so even if we won them all, we weren't getting to 1,300. So I think these are a great stopgap measure. Like, just to put it in a conversion terms, you can take these Wintergrass marks and you can turn 9 of them into 2,000 honor. So this is not even 4,000 honor worth of Wintergrass marks, and it is the exact same as the Hateful Gladiators ones. These are 21,000, and this is about 3,000 something worth honor worth of Wintergrass marks. So I think these boots are pretty cheeky to buy. I would recommend it as sort of a stopgap measure just to help you in those first couple weeks or first week or two until you get the rating to buy these. As soon as you have the rating and the honor, you buy the deadly belt and the deadly boots. If you're about to hit honor cap and you don't think you're going to reach the 1,300 that week, you should buy the hateful one just because there's no point in wasting the honor. But that's the only scenario in which I would buy the hateful belt. For the ring, you can actually wear both of these at the same time. So you could buy the hateful ring as well. Now, when it comes to hateful gear, I think it's very important to look at the rating requirements for the deadly gear, because ideally you wouldn't wait. I don't think buying all the hateful gear is the correct move. If you buy all the hateful gear, it's basically like 3,000 something arena points that you lose. And I just think saving up, if you're going to meet the rating requirements for the deadly gear, I think you should go straight from Savage to deadly. With that in mind, I think the best pieces to buy for hateful are no surprise, the ones that in deadly are super high rating requirements, right? So the shoulders and the helm. Personally, what I did is the first week that I got arena points, I got up to 700, or I had enough from the daily BGs, right, to help push me over to get the 700 arena points, and I bought the helm there. And then I went and I bought the shoulders with Emblems of Valor. So if you do a 10-man Nax and a 25-man Nax, and then you do some of the one boss, the one boss raids, you should have 30 Emblems of Valor. I think I covered it earlier, but if you are prioritizing PvE, you can spend these on PvE first. But I think this price point is very good. Again, if you look at these conversion rates, this is basically worth like 80% of this, and yet for the Valor, it's worth 2/3. So it's a much better deal when you see that the shoulders and the hands are the same Valor price, but then you see the prices on Honor and Arena, they're different. So I think buying these with Valor is also a cheeky way to sort of use a different resource to improve your PvP gear drastically. It also has the added benefit of you could buy these, like I said, you could do a Nax 25, a Nax 10, and I think like 1 or 2 of the one boss raids, and you'll have enough Emblems of Valor, and you wouldn't even need to be on an arena team. You could just buy them, right? The other way to earn hateful, I circled these on the deadly because they drop in Vault of Archivon 25-man, but I did forget to mention that the hateful ones drop in Vault of Archivon 10-man. So that is another way to get either the hands, the chest, or the pants. It's pretty random. He doesn't drop a token or anything. He could drop the Kodo hide pants, the Wormhide pants, or he could drop any spec for any class. So, and he can drop the tier equivalent of the same thing. So the chances that you'll get them from Vault of Archivon are extremely low. but I think it's worth mentioning. And I also think if you're going to buy things, it's another reason why the shoulders and the helm, I think, are good investments, because they cannot drop from Vault of Archivon. With that in mind, I think it's important to note that most people will probably be able to reach the rating requirements, at least for gloves. I believe, I believe in you guys, so I believe you guys can reach 1,500 and 1,600 for the chest and the pants. Obviously, if you're going a couple weeks and you're stuck, there's no shame in buying these pieces of gear. It could be the difference maker to get you to that rating requirement, but personally, my route at that point, like right now, I have the Hateful Helm, I have the Hateful Shoulders, and then I have Savage on the hands, chest, and pants. And so what I opted to do is I hit 1,400. I have the rating requirement, and then I'd buy the gloves first. They're pretty cheap, and they're going to be BIS the entire time. It's also, when you look at what can drop in Vault of Archivon, if the hands drop, let's say after you bought them, it's not a huge loss, right? If the chest drops, the chest is worth more and has I think the same percentage to drop. So ideally, I'd buy the cheaper thing just in case I get lucky on the chest and the pants. As the weeks go on, I'll be prioritizing the chest and the hands, and then the last things will be the rating requirement stuff, right? But that's kind of my general overview for how I would gear. You got to do the daily battlegrounds, do Wintergrass for the quests, buy your best in slot for the offset pieces that don't require rating requirements, buy the boost set, get the Wintergrass boots, and then spend your first week of honor on the helm. And if you can buy the shoulders with Valor, I would do so, and pray you get lucky in Vault of Archivon, and throughout the weeks try to farm up the rating to buy the best in slot deadly pieces. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'll be making more Feral PvP focused videos in the future, hopefully some commentary and some games I've been doing a lot of 2s and a lot of 3s, so if you're interested in that, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. And with that being said, I'll see you guys later.